Hello my friends. My name is Bot Mathematician and this is Holomancer.
Also, Chief Investigative Reporter Dora joined us this evening.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop.
We continue to closely monitor the utility of Hearthstone cards to help you determine the best options for investing your in-game resources wisely. In this video, you will learn all the nuances about the best and worst packs to buy.
We have prepared short reviews with a huge amount of data about all the current Hearthstone packs. This will help you see trends in the changing influence of sets on deck building. Some expansions lost their benefits too quickly. Also, we have made global changes to our table with recommendations of the priority for packs purchases. Traditionally, the third expansion phase requires a significant revision of the player's strategy for acquiring packs depending on the metagame. Moreover, we will soon be facing an annual rotation, which means that some sets, even despite their usefulness and huge impact on deck building, will lose all their advantages and will no longer be the best options for purchase.
Guys, could you remind us very briefly about your method for determining the best options for investing gaming resources?
First of all, we identify useful cards that are part of meta decks of varying effectiveness. Then, we determine the number of useful cards in each set according to rarity. The total number of useful cards, and their overall popularity indicates the impact of an expansion on the metagame.
The community mistakenly believes that the best option to purchase is always the new expansion. But in fact, this is a huge misconception. The player can receive significantly more advantages and useful cards if he purchases a certain number of sets from different add-ons in the correct sequence. For this reason, we decided to create the benefit factor indicator. This metric allows you to numerically determine the conditional value from purchasing a specific pack. Here's how it works. Each set contains a specific number of useful cards. Knowing the drop rates, we can determine how many useful and completely useless cards you can find in your pack. The benefit factor determines the hypothetical total amount of conditional dust that you can find in your next pack. It consists of dust you would receive for disenchanting useless cards, plus the dust you would have to spend to create useful cards found in your deck.
This approach is very flexible and allows defining a conditional benefit for any offer in the store.
Let's jump right into the results and start with the worst option. In 13th place is the Path of Arthas. The Death Knight exclusive mini set was once again the worst expansion to buy. Of the 26 cards, only 9 cards are useful. The only valuable high rarity card remains the Blood Boil spell. The benefit factor demonstrates a result equivalent to the cost of one pack. Thus, for every 100 invested golden coins, you will receive only 228 conditional dust. Most of this value comes from the dust you could potentially get from disenchanting useless cards. This was originally a very bad set to buy.
Next is another mini set. Law and Order's usefulness decreased significantly immediately after the jailer was killed. Sylvanas is the only useful high rarity card so far. The overall popularity of cards from the mini set is less than 2%. The mini expansion is a part of the Murder at Castle Nathria set. If you did not purchase the mini set as a separate purchase, then the poor statistics of these additional cards have a negative impact on the usefulness of the packs as a whole. In any case, this is another bad proposal that will soon leave the standard format.
Let me announce the following result. In 11th place is the Festival of Legends pack. As you can see, sets of the current year are not always a good option for purchasing. The expansion contains 31 legendary cards, 14 are useful but only 9 of them have popularity above 1%. This means that the other 5 cards are useful, but extremely niche. In general, only 33% of the cards remain useful at the moment. The benefit factor directly depends on the number of packs you have already opened. For example, the presence of a guaranteed legendary card, on average in the first 5 packs, increases this figure to 407 dust. After this, from the 6th to the 37th pack, your benefit will be halved. Then after the 37th pack, there will be another decrease in the benefit factor, as you collect all the common cards. Your profit will be stable until the next decrease at the 95th pack, since you will get all the rare cards and the chance of finding a useful epic or legendary card will be quite small. After 255 packs your benefit factor will be only 140 dust. You will have collected all the epic cards and your packs will almost always contain duplicates that are equivalent to the cost of disenchanting.
In 10th place are standard packs. They contain all standard trading cards with the exception of Path of Arthas and core sets. The overall popularity of cards from all these expansions is 80%. Among more than 1,000 cards, only about a third are useful. This is a very bad result. Moreover, half of the useful cards will soon leave the standard format. We always publish this data as a reminder that this type of packs has significantly less value compared to most other offers. Please never buy these packs.
You will get a little more benefit from purchasing the Audiopocalypse mini set. This set also only has one useful legendary card. The benefit of this additional expansion is the increased number of useful rare cards. Of the 17 rare cards, 8 are useful. The only advantage is the presence of these cards throughout the next game year.
Next in line is the Voyage to the Sunken City expansion. Traditionally, the first set of each year has a reduced power level and subsequently has minimal impact on the metagame throughout its life cycle. But we are surprised by the fact that the fairly old Sunken City is more useful than the relatively new Festival of Legends. Of the 18 useful legendary cards, only 11 have a popularity above 1%.
The Throne of the Tides mini set will provide you slightly more value than the first 20 Voyage to the Sunken City packs. Despite their higher utility, extremely low popularity is also a huge disadvantage of this option. Neptulon is the most popular high rarity card that you can most often see in the big rogue archetypes. Players are also testing this card in many other experimental builds within other classes.
In 6th place is Murder at Castle Nathria. The presence of additional cards from the mini set in these packs slightly reduces the benefits of purchasing them. This was one of the most influential sets, which began to lose its popularity relatively recently. Among the top 5 options is March of the Lich King. This set dominated in the metagame through 2 expansions. But after the release of Titans, this influence began to gradually decrease. A special feature of these packs is the presence of a huge number of useful legendary cards. 23 cards are useful, of which 18 have a popularity rate of more than 1%. Despite this is another expansion that will soon leave the standard format.
The latest mini-set Fall of Ulduar is in 4th place. Of the 38 cards, only 16 are useful, including 2 legendaries. Despite the radical nerf, Yogg Saron remains a fairly popular and useful card. Every 10th deck in the metagame contains this card. Next in line is the Titans expansion. The first 20 packs will bring you a little more profit compared to the mini-set. More than half the cards in the set remain useful. The benefit factor for the first 5 packs is more than 500 dust. The overall popularity of these cards is 17%, which means that the expansion has a fairly large impact on the metagame. This is still a very good option for investing resources.
It's time to finally talk about the new expansion. Over the last 2 weeks after release, Showdown in the Badlands has lost 3% of its popularity, which is normal. Gradually, players give up experimentation and return to using effective strategies. Despite this, 77% of the cards remain useful. An important advantage of Badlands is the presence of 17 useful epic cards, which gives players more benefits when purchasing a large number of packs.
But the best option to buy is the Return to Naxxrama's mini-set, as it will give you the most benefits for the current metagame. The main advantage is the usefulness of all 5 cards of high rarity. This mini-set has only one drawback: it will leave the standard format in a few months, which means purchasing this option is completely irrational.
Knowing the statistics of each expansion, we can update the table of the priority for packs purchases. First, you must decide, are you ready to invest resources in purchasing mini-sets? For example, purchasing Fall of Ulduar will lead to a slight improvement in the contents of the Titans packs. At the same time, the presence of cards from Audiopocalypse in Festival of Legends packs does not affect the quality of packs, it remains low. Then you should open several Titans and Badlands packs one by one until you find the first guaranteed legendary card. The same applies to packs from the previous year. Despite the fact that their purchase is not rational due to the departure from the standard format, the increased profit in the first packs cannot be ignored. For this reason, make sure you find the first guaranteed legendary card before you start opening Festival of Legends packs. After that, you should start collecting common cards from Showdown in the Badlands. To do this, you will need to open 25 more packs. Each pack will give you a nominal benefit of 350 dust. Collecting common cards for the Titans expansion will have significantly less benefit, but at the same time it will be your best next step. You can safely skip purchasing the Audiopocalypse mini-set, then start collecting rare cards for the Badlands and Titans expansions. To do this, you will have to open another 37 packs for each set. And only after that you can start collecting common cards from Festival of Legends. If you skip the mini set, you will have to open approximately 32 packs. And only after this, you can start gradually collecting epic cards for Badlands. This scheme is the most optimal for obtaining maximum benefits for all groups of players.
New and returning players may be shocked by the total amount of resources required to complete all these points, but do not worry.
During the expansion phase, you will receive a sufficient number of rewards that will allow you to automatically complete some tasks.
Moreover, you do not need to fulfill all the points to be competitive. This is simply a recap on rational investing. Even partial implementation of this plan will bring you a large number of benefits.
Finally, we want to discuss power creep. The gradual increase in the power of sets throughout the year affects the growth of the influence of new packs, which directly affects the priority of their purchase.
The Hearthstone team is forced to resort to this strategy. Since a new set that is in perfect balance compared to the previous ones, as a rule, has too little impact on the metagame, which in turn is perceived by players as a failure. At the same time, after rotation, a cyclical decrease in power occurs, which leads to the fact that the first set of the year turns out to be significantly weaker than all previous ones.
The community is convinced that power creep is one of the main problems of Hearthstone. But is the problem so global, or does it affect only a small part of the cards? We want to know your opinion. Should the dev team radically reduce the overall power level of previous expansions during rotation to set a new standard for the overall power of the cards in the game? Or perhaps you think that it is enough for the developers to use balance changes to keep power creep under control? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the polls in the community tab.
Finally, we want to express our boundless gratitude to our sponsors. Dear friends, your support is invaluable. Many thanks to each of you.
We also want to welcome new subscribers to our mathematician squad. We only see nicknames of public users who have not hidden the subscription section on their channel, but we are grateful to everyone for joining.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for spending this time with us. We really hope that we will have the opportunity to get in touch in the next video.
Take care of yourself.
And never give up.
Job's done.